All right, so I'm a couple of minutes early. As you just heard, there's a bunch of events scheduled. So I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. March the 6th. It's going to be a busy day. Uh, the, the, the Powell speech text has already been pre-released, so the market has a good idea of what is about to take place. However, he is taking questions after the fact, and so that has the ability to move the market. We do have a plan in place, right? We're targeting 915 right up here. If you look to the higher time frame, so we're looking at that 50% Fibonacci area, and we want to start selling up there. Okay, so as a result of this higher time frame, we can see we have a higher low, we have a higher high, and we're attempting to go even higher, right? Not to the moon, right? But we do have resistance up here that we will be running into, and we want to sell into that resistance, all right? So we will be selling from 910, 915, 920 area. All right, let's keep that in mind. It's just if we get there and how we get there. Right, so up in that zone up there. And let's go down to 5 minutes. So we'll have data, employment data, and the Powell speech and the questions thereafter. So in the first few minutes, I'm just going to sit and listen to the squawk and let it all play out. And then once the noise settles down a little, we'll have a better idea of what we're up against. In the meantime, this was yesterday, right? Closing last Friday's losses and reversing the position to switch to longs, right? I had one of these trades in here was a hedge trade that covered for all of this. And so the entire structure closed this morning manually. When I woke up at 5 a.m., I pressed the close all button, and I wanted to start my day with nothing. And so here we are restarting with nothing. And so this entire week, switching from shorts to long has cost me 2 days of nothing, 2 days of breaking even. The month of March basically is breaking even. And this current week, the first week of March, has cost me about $200, $250, 271. Right, so you can see the little dip there on the equity curve.
I'll lead with the US job openings.
And you can see some of that recovery. I did make about $100 on this here yesterday, or this morning, should I say. Right, so here we are now. Let's get my boxes from the day before. Wait for the news to come, and then we'll let this play through. All right. I'll just turn up the squawk a little bit so you guys can all hear it better, and then I'll be quiet. There's about 15 seconds left or so.
10 seconds.
All right, good luck everybody. Stay safe, trade small.
$8.863 million, $8.863 million, that's higher than forecast, $8.85 million. Wholesale inventories month over month revised of minus 0.3%, minus 0.3%, lower than forecast, minus 0.1%. Wholesale sales month over month of minus 1.7%, minus 1.7%, lower than forecast, 0.3%. For Canada, the IVPMI at 53.9, 53.9. Looking to the markets, relatively unchanged following that.
Just so you can see what just has come out right here. All right, so all this news has just come through, and now we're waiting on Mr. Powell. And
so noting the prior revision for job openings revised down to 8.889 million from 9.026 million.
all right, exercise caution, people. we could potentially trade our way to 915, right? Be bullish on the way there. Right. My goal is to prepare for the next move. I need to see what comes here. I need to see what happens here, right? There's a breakout taking place. If I go far enough, right here, right? And let's put a line right there and we'll have a better idea of what's happening. I think I already had a line there. Yeah, I did. All right, so here we are. If we create a higher high, we probably want to buy for 3 pips, 3 pips, 3 pips. All right, buy support on our way to 915. All right, buy a red
We have
candle.
posted out the US jobs job openings January report on the feed for anyone interested.
All right, I'll buy a red candle right there. Right, and I'm buying my way towards 915, so that's about 3 to 4 boxes away. Those asking why 915, it's if we go to the higher time frame, go to your daily, put a Fibonacci on this, and 915 is the next Fibonacci. Right, but we have to break this existing high first. Right, here we are.
We've also posted out the US wholesale inventories January final report on the feed.
Right. If this fails to work, I'm not fighting this. Right? Maybe we need to sell. So this is box 1, trade number 1. My bias right now is bullish temporarily. Right? I have a goal, and then I want to switch my bias once I reach my goal.
Treasuries extend gains, 10-year yield dips below 4.1%.
So yields are dropping. That means the euro should be going up. Right? It's not an exact science, but it is a close relationship. Right, this is trade number 2. Right, it's very seldom that we are trading a trend, right? The target happens to be higher from here so that we can sell into, right? It's just, is this really going to break? That's the question you need to ask yourself, right? Is this worth fighting for? The Powell speech and the Powell questions thereafter will be very, very important. I'll put trade number 3 right there and adjust my box on the actual swing high. So the last couple of days have been treacherous, but also a good learning experience. We did not blow up the account. We have created 2 break-even days back to back, and we did so using hedging. And so, it's not a free experiment. It's not a get out of jail free card. There is costs involved. Some cases you're earning swap or you're paying swap. And so it's not a nice tool to use. It's just a tool of last resort. So we've closed one trade. We've been trading for 6 minutes. That's awesome. All right, let's see if we're given an opportunity to recycle this on the red candle, like so. All right, and so now that we have a couple of minutes to spare while we're waiting for that volatility, let's measure a couple of things. What has today done so far? And today has given us 47, 48 pips. The average is 47 and 48. Right, so we are right on the average. We're threatening a break up. The next target is that 50% retracement. If that fails to deliver, then maybe we're coming back down. Right? Ultimately, I'm thinking we're going up before we go down. Right? All because of what's happened in the last couple of days. Right? This break of 38% right there. Right, so these last 2 days plus today has caused us to switch our bias. We were short below this trend line and we had to switch and use hedging in order to preserve equity and rotate the position.
This is a reminder for our users. Tomorrow, the ECB is due to announce their latest interest rate decision as well. So if you'd like some prep ahead of this interest rate decision from the ECB, our very own Tony again will be doing a live video stream, just going over the fundamentals surrounding this. So the link to tune in is now available on the FJ feed. Again, the video due to start tomorrow at 7:45 a.m. Eastern Time.
There we go. So we're looking to go up to that 50 line and then rotate and short from 50. All right, so how far are we looking for?
US stocks paired their gains. The S&P 500 now up 0.3%, Nasdaq 0.2%, Dow up 0.3%.
So we're looking for 3 more boxes, and we posted earlier in the chat room to keep an eye open on the open. And as the squawk just suggested, it's paired its gains already. So it's only taken 40 minutes. All right, let's take a look at the dollar index and the yields real quick, as we do every day. All right, our dollar index are approaching support, major support. And if I believe this would be a 38% retracement. Right, so if we fail to hold here, we're probably going down to 50% retracement. Right, that would be critical at that stage. Right, so this little piece right here, this little missing piece is what will take the euro to that 50% retracement we're looking for. Right, if this actually does work in our favor, the dollar index should bounce off of that red line and the euro should bounce off of that 50% retracement, right? The yields have been supporting that hypothesis. All right, so we've just closed another 1, 2. I want to see a retracement so I can buy that back. Right, we have to think about the next move all the time. We're making money with what's happening in front of us, but we're strategizing, thinking about what the market will be doing next. Right, so as we speak, the current move, which will not, run to eternity, it will eventually expire, and that's how we measure things. So 3 to 4 boxes is when we typically run out of steam, and that would be right there, 3 boxes away. Right, so we know our target is in the neighborhood. Right, can the market actually get there, and how will it do so? So Powell must be under questioning right now. There's more volatility than there has been this whole time, right? The size of the bars has increased in the last 10 minutes or so. All right, so we rotated our books and now we're on the bullish side, and it cost us very little to do so. The account is still performing quite well, and we've already started the recovery. All right, we've already started to dip back up. The equity's turning back up, the drawdown's closing down or closing up. All right, so here we are recycling more of our trades. Red candle. Here I'm buying one, and I'm buying two. I'm keeping one in case we drop it a little lower. And let's get ready for another box. Maybe put that right there. Just in case we break up, I want to be ready to start measuring. Okay. The red candle, I'll put that fourth click on. All right, so you can see where my break even is, and hence
cut crude capacity at Gelsenkirchen refinery from 2025.
so we are starting with a clean slate, right? Everything from yesterday's and the days before has closed, and here we are starting fresh. All right, so we're going down to our 5-minute chart. We could start to build our ladder, and this particular ladder just helps you organize your thoughts, right? It just gives you an idea of where support would be, where resistance would be, all of that good stuff. And at each one of these levels, you want to ask yourself, do I want to spend money here? Or maybe, do I want to take off a loser here? That's what we were doing yesterday. This right there, right? A lot of these peeling off of the losses was taking place at these rungs on the ladder. And so with my mind's eye, I can just pretend I have an idea of where the market's going, right? See, the space in between these lines is on average the same. Well, what if I just, on average, project where the market is going? All right, so there's our ladder on the 5-minute chart. Right, really simple, dirty math, using your mind's eye. Right, and here we are now with our measuring device, waiting for the breakout. And if we have a break up, we can then expect and anticipate it will deliver one box worth of money, because that's what the market is capable of doing all by itself. Why expect more than that until it proves to you that it's willing, capable, and has the ability to do it? Right. Yeah. So the account dropped by about $250 in the last 2 days, but the recovery is imminent. Right? 3 pips at a time. I went back and looked at some of the bigger losers that were stuck in those hedge trades, and most of them were started as swings. And throughout those 3 days, the 3-pip trades that I took closed at 3 pips. And so to me, it goes back to swing trading is my biggest problem. I'm better with this approach here. If I want to swing trade, I can just take one of these and turn it off, right? And now one of these 3 clicks is a swing trade, right? I choose when to close it, maybe 3 or 4 rungs into the future. So we've survived overnight. We've survived actually 2 months so far. Let's see if we can finish the month of March. There we are. Let's pull back a little bit. All right, so this a retracement. Ooh, right there. Boom, boom, boom. 2, click 3. I'm gonna save 1 in case we pull back a little bit lower. I want to put it in the original box. Right there. In the original box. Right, so I'm recycling the trades in box number 1. I don't have any trades in this upper box just yet. I'm kind of targeting the entries. So I split my risk evenly, 4 clicks per box.
Taking a look at the Fear and Greed Index, 74 out of 100 equaling greed, and the Crypto Fear and Greed Index, 75 out of 100 also equaling greed. Looking at the VIX, currently down 0.9% at 14.35.
There. All right. So how many do I have here? I have 4 already. Or 6. I have more than enough. I have to wait. Let us repeat this process for a little bit longer, and then we'll be able to sell. Those of you that are following along, what have we done so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 winners. That's much less than average, but that's okay. We're trading the opportunities presented to us. The lack of volatility is not allowing the trades to close as they normally would, right? We're sitting on our trades for minutes instead of seconds. Right now, an average bar is 2 pips, 2.2, and I am targeting 3. So I'm asking for a little bit more than the average.
At 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we get our weekly EIA data. Crude oil inventories forecast a build of 2.741 million on the prior build of 4.199 million, with a range of 4 million to minus 2.6 million. Distiller inventories forecast draw of 0.663 million on the prior draw of 0.51 million. Gasoline inventories forecast draw 1.75 million on the prior draw 2.832 million. And crude Cushing inventories prior build 1.458 million. We also get the Bank of Canada press conference.
There you go. All right, so let's see come on, volatility. we have our plan. We're executing the plan. Ultimately, it boils down to reversing at the right level, right? We would expect to anticipate somewhere around 910 to 920 right there. In this case, it's the Fibonacci calls 918, but in this zone up there, I want to become a seller. Let's keep this going. Sorry, I'm just looking to my other screens over here for a sec. Come on. Same as the rest of the week, huh? This past week has been so slow. The big wait, the big event, the main event is this Friday, Thursday, Friday.
Fed's power says rate cuts will depend on the path of the economy.
Slow and steady. Smooth is fast.
Fed's power says we would like to have more confidence on inflation. We have some confidence, but we want more.
Beautiful. All right, so now we need an excuse to rotate. There you go. Add more, just like that.
Fed's power says strength of the economy and labour market means we can approach that carefully and thoughtfully.
Man's a genius. All right, so I have 8 clicks open now. So a bunch of them are in this bottom or the top of this bottom box, and a bunch of them are in the bottom of the top box. And so I'm splitting hairs. I'm splitting the difference.
Powell says we have some confidence inflation is moving toward 2%. And at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we get our weekly EIA data. Crude oil inventories forecast build 2.741 million on the prior build 4.199 million, with a range of 4 million to minus 2.6 million. Distiller inventories forecast draw 0.663 million on the prior draw 0.51 million. Gasoline inventories forecast draw 1.75 million on the prior draw 2.832 million. Crude Cushing inventories prior build 1.458 million. We also get the Bank of Canada press conference.
It's going to be busy. That's in 4 minutes from now. we are still hanging around that breakup level, right? That's that previous high from a few days ago. Right here. And this is what's caused me grief for the last 2 days. And here we are recovering. And we have destination in mind, and hopefully I'll be able to sell and make some money from here. Right? It may be going to 1.1. It may very well be going to that 61%, right? But it's not going to do it in one shot. And so we have to anticipate average moves and then play these average moves, right? Average moves are the pullbacks in between the extensions. All right. So now we have 8 trades in profits. We have a slight draw up or up draw. I have a swing trade. Woohoo!
Fed's Powell says it's more important that we get this right than we do it fast.
Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. The recycling is slow. I feel like I'm spending my day waiting for the cable guy. All right. This is the temptation we have to over-click, you know. Oh, there's a red candle, but I've already spent the clicks that belong here. And
1
so
minute remaining. I'll lead with EIA crude oil inventories.
and then we have to let it settle, right? We have to let the trades take care of themselves. It's the probability. We've already assessed it. We have agreed with it. We've placed the trade because of it. Let it play out. All right, I'll be quiet until he's done speaking.
Ten seconds. Build 1.367 million. Build 1.367 million, lower than the forecasted build of 2.741 million. Gasoline inventories. Draw 4.46 million. Draw 4.46 million. That's lower than the expected draw of 1.75 million. Distiller inventories. Draw 4.131 million. Draw 4.131 million, lower than the expected draw of 0.663 million. Crude Cushing inventories. Build 0.701 million. Build 0.701 million.
Lucky for us, we don't trade oil, so it didn't really impact anything that we're doing. All right, so it's that kind
And
of.
stocks in the US Strategic Petroleum Reserve up 706 million barrels at 360.96 million barrels.
Trade the reaction.
We have posted the weekly US EIA petroleum status report on the feed for all those interested.
There we go. All right. It is bottom of the hour, right? We are expecting a pullback, in this case, it'd be a bullish pullback, right? We want to be participating in that.
US and Brent oil futures extend gains after US EIA storage report.
And then we stick to our guns, right? The plan remains to sell from higher. Nothing has changed. All right, if you have a click to spend, put it right there. If you rearrange the boxes, if you line them up from the swing low, we're waiting for a break to the upside.
Fed's Power says the forecast for housing services inflation will come down.
Fed Powell has a lot to say today, man. Holy. He's presenting in front of people that have an election this year, and so they're all going to be asking very pointed inflation-related questions, trying to get their point across for their constituents, that kind of stuff. Dog and pony show. I just feel sorry for Powell. It deserves more than $200,000 a year. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Minus 20 Celsius today. The 6th of March. It's going to be a late spring, I suppose. It felt like it was here a couple weeks ago. There we are. You can hear the ticks in the background. Obviously, these are not micro lots, right? These are. It's wash and repeat. We just closed a bunch. So we just closed everything except for our swing trade and that one little sucker there. All right, so a red candle will allow us to buy, or a wick, a retracement, some kind of a pullback on
Majority
here.
Leader Schumer says, I see House passing spending bills with bipartisan backing.
There's one. If it goes deeper, I'll buy more. Two. All right, if it goes deeper, I'll buy more again. Three. Four. So it's coming back to retest the break into the upper box. All right, so we've done one standard deviation, and now that we've broken into the upper box, we would expect the market to be able, willing, capable, all that good stuff, right? It's on its way here. And if it fails to go there, there's a sign, it's a clue, right? It's a clue that it's running out of steam, right? It's unable to go higher, right? Otherwise, it should fulfill an average move. Here's support, and here's back into the lower box. 1, 2, 3. I'm allowed 4, so I'll put a 4th if we go deeper. 4. Right, so I have now 4 in this box and 3 in the upper box, I think, plus a swing trade.
And oil futures extend gains, US crude up by $2 a barrel.
Yeah, this is my swing trade here. All right, looking left, we're at support, so you want to buy this.
Fed's Powell says the pandemic may have changed in a sustained way how we target inflation.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, there's another one of these standard moves right there that we just did. All right, from a half of a box to a half of a box. Oh, it's nice to be back on track. Feel like a winner again. A lot of Canadian news came out today or the last couple of days, and thankfully for me, I don't do the groceries, so phew, I don't have to be worried about the Bank of Canada changing the price of my eggs. I'm not worried about it. I just pay the price. There we go. There we go. Give it to me. Give it to me. All right, so we've recycled the 4 clicks. Let's see if we can push a few more winners through. There's another. And now we need some kind of an excuse to get in. Right? We want to buy when it's cheap. And so what we have here is not cheap. This little red candle might be a clue that cheap is on its way. Right there. I'm one too many now in this box. All right. It's all about slowing down so that you don't misstep. All right. How far left do we have to the target? 23 pips, a little over 2 boxes.
Bank of Canada's Rogers says we have to keep our eyes on commercial real estate and exposure in Canada spreads more broadly.
All right. If we come back into this lower area, I'll buy 4 more. Wonder what gold is doing right now. Holding steady at resistance, 2150. If 2150 gives way, you're heading to 2200. And you don't want to be selling gold. The last thing you want to do is be short gold. All the banks on the planet are buying it.
And Bank of Canada's Macklin says shelter price inflation is weighing on our decisions.
Coming from people that live in mansions. Go, 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 go. Giddy up. Days like today is what we want every day. You know, repetitive, consistent, manageable. Oh, just like that. Red candle, recycle. Sorry, I'm not a very good whistler. I'm waiting to see if I can add to this, but I have one click left to spend. I'm just waiting to see where and when. There you go. And I'll get ready with another box somewhere up here. And we'll be measuring the next move. This is video material.
Canadian dollar ticks higher as Macklin speaks.
So remember earlier we had a target for the dollar index? We're almost there. All right, so once we reach the target on our dollar index, the euro is usually going to waffle, start slowing down, start running out of steam, start having a tough time. And so, it's this equilibrium, right? One may get
Bank
there.
of Canada's Macklin says we most likely won't get 2% inflation this year.
We don't know which is going to get to their target first, right? The euro or the dollar index. Considering the dollar index is made up of 60% euros, it's doable. There we are.
Dollar slips to a near 6-week low versus the euro, last up 0.38% to $1.0898.
There. as we were just looking at that. The dollar index is at support now. Let's see the euro do the last leg. 2 boxes. Give me 2 boxes, Mr. Market, please. I said it nicely. Recycling is the name of the game for today. There's days when we build a position and postponing gratification, and that's ideally what we'll end up doing. But first we have to reach destination, right? And as we approach destination, we start building that next outcome. And so right here, we're extending, right? Instead of contracting, we have to follow along with the market. Love it when a plan comes together. I think the A-Team used to say that. We'll keep trading like this. Hopefully into the target. All right. So if you have opportunities to spend money here,
This pal says what we're seeing so far this year is continued solid growth.
if you see red candles and you have clicks to spare or spared clicks, spend them on the red candles, right? Until the market clues us into the
Pal
fact.
says there's no reason to think the economy is in or faces significant near-term risk of a recession.
Until we see the clues coming from the market that the move is finished, we have to believe that it's not, right? But we know it's coming to an end, right? That's why we have that target in mind. Everybody else is looking for hundreds of pips. You know? We're taking baby steps. Fascinating.
So Macklem says the Canadian overnight repo rate average pressures are not a sign of needing to end quantitative tightening early.
No, never.
Powell says inflation has come down sharply.
All right, we still have our swing trade. It's up 11
So Powell says
pips.
so far we have economy growing at a solid pace. The labour market is still tight and strong.
So we have our swing trade from 2 boxes back. And now we're
Powell
about
says I think we can achieve a soft landing.
to recycle some trades. Soft landing. I don't think so. He's not from this world. No, the swing trade, someone's asking if the swing trade accounts or is part of the 4 clicks per box. No, it's a different page in my playbook. It's one pool of money, it's one account, but I'm running 2 strategies, right? So once I deem a trade to be a swing trade, it has its own risk. The boxes themselves, the 3 pips, 3 pips, 3 pips, is using 4 clicks over and over and over. Well done, Giannis. 1.1% for today. Good job, sir. Keep up the hard work, my friend. All right, so here's that red candle. I'll buy that.
Powell says we are using our tools to keep a strong labour market and strong growth while making progress on inflation. And we are on a good path so far in being able to get there.
There you go. 0.56% for Logan. You guys are killing it. Change your lives. Don't let me stop you. All right, but do stop trading every day. You have to leave the casino. That's the last rule, all right? That's the rule that makes us money. It's because you're not giving it back. Good job. I have goosebumps watching you guys win. This is awesome. All right. We can't win all the battles, but we can definitely keep showing up. If, you know, just don't put it all on the line.
Bank of Canada's Macklin says labour market adjustment to higher rates has been relatively smooth.
Can we do another 2 boxes? That's all we need. Right. Average move, that's all we need. And we're approaching the London fix in about 7 minutes or so. And so that should bring volatility from the city. The city traders will offload before the end of their day. All right, we need a red candle. There it is. Oh, I missed it. Oh, there it is. Ah, give it to me again. Right there. One more time. I should turn this into a reaction video. Turn on the camera. Watch me freak out when I'm in drawdown. That'd be comedic value. I'd get clicks. There we are, killing it. Let's go. Not supposed to cheer for our horse. Just let it do its thing. We don't want to get attached to our winners, nor do we want to get too attached to our losers. Right, so I need a red candle here to buy a little bit more. All right, those of you following along are hopefully closing trades 3 pips at a time. Right, I do still have 1 swing trade still, 17 pips in the money. And the target is now 1 box away. We've covered 1 box in the last few minutes. That's kind of nice. All right, we will be selling shortly. All right, think of this as slowing momentum up. Right? It's not reaching for the moon. It's actually eventually going to be running out of steam. And that's when we pounce. That's when we do our best work. Right? We see that coming because we can measure average moves. And we know when an average move is done. right? And going beyond average is where we excel because we have 4 of these boxes to give us that extra space, right? So by design, we start a little bit early, we build a position, and we eventually get paid, right? Let's see if it pushes another 9 with the UK fix.
Bank of Canada's Macklem says we have been surprised over the last couple of quarters by the strength of the US economy.
All right, go, go, go. All right, red candle, buy 1, 2. I'm gonna save 2 or 3 for the another little deeper pullback. All right, we're approaching the sell zone. The sell zone.
Bank of Canada's Macklem says we are comfortable with our measures of core inflation.
The Canadian dollar plays a small part in the dollar index. It's about 7% or 6%. But this is what's happening with the dollar index right now. It's breaking support, right? But that doesn't mean it's on the way to the South Pole, right? This could be a false temporary break, and then we close above that line, right? And that I think is what's driving the euro to our destination, and the retracement of the dollar index will send the euro back down, and I think that's where we'll be closing our shorts. Right, so for the time being, we target 915. At 915, we start to sell, and that's when we should see the dollar index find its footing and deliver our prize on the sells. Right, so it's one step that leads to the next step, that leads to the next step. We're one step ahead of everybody else. Right now, we are trading like the crowd. Right? We are chasing this up, right? Considering it's only 3 pips, 3 pips, 3 pips, and it's only 3 trades that are open, if I'm left holding the bag up here and everything comes crashing down, I have boxes between here and mayhem. You know, I can manage this environment. I don't have to give back all of my
Canadian dollar extends its gains, touching the strongest since February 27th at 1.3511 per US dollar.
I don't have to give back all of my day's work. We're almost there. It's so nice to see.
Bank of Canada's Governor Macklem says, I'm looking for consistency across inflation indicators.
I'm positioning some trades on my other platforms. So just bear with me for a second.
Fed's Powell says commercial real estate risk is manageable. Bank of Canada's Macklem says there was clear consensus inside the governing council that rates needed to stay at 5%.
They're trying to explain their position away. All right, so here I am. I'll reopen a couple. 1 and 2. All right, so I have 1 swing trade and 4 open trades in that particular box. I'm still trying to get up to this level here. That's 50% retracement, at which point I want to become a seller for the time being. Right, that's when we should see the dollar index find its footing and turn itself around. Wait and see. Where's my other? There it is, right there. Let's close this. Let's switch it up. There we go, just like this. Oh boy, I'm anxious to put more clicks on here. I'm anxious to see it get up to this level, right? But I need to recycle. We're 1 box away. Yeah, that's the most annoying part. Sorry, I'm building a position with my other platform over here. Yeah, 1 last click. There we go. Done. All right, so I've structured myself for 1 last move up, 1 last push around here, and so I don't know where it's going to start from, but I'm targeting the end to be up here, right? So I'm willing to buy until I get back to my original entry. Right, so I'm fighting for 50%. I'm fighting for this. Okay, that's the strategy for now. Nothing has changed. We just have to be cautious with the clicks. We have to understand that this is not reaching for the moon today. Right? It might be going there, but not today. Money bags. It reminds me of the old Disney cartoons when they dive into these piles of coins. Scrooge McDuck. Piles and piles of 3 pips. Here's that dollar index finding its footing. The yields found their footing. Right, so this is just now slow and steady grind. It's like a grinder. It has given us a full box, and so I suspect there's more coming. And I'm also suspecting that we probably won't be able to fulfill the entire box up at the top. That's the signal, right? If we can't do a full box up here, the entire length of the box, depending on where we get into it. So the inability to fulfill a full box is a signal that we're on to our next leg. It's not 100%, but it's a good clue. All right, we're staying above the 0.9 level. That's another good clue. So we've been trading for over an hour, and that's what we've created so far. Right? We've been trading on the bullish side. We have one swing trade. We've been carrying one box of,
we are very focused on AI.
We've been carrying one box of risk forward since the beginning of our trading session, and nothing more. And we have an ultimate target. It's a Fibonacci. And then from that area, we're looking to be sellers. Right, so.
And the 4-week average product supplied of residual fuel oil rose to its highest level since December 2021, according to EIA. And Bank of Canada's Macklin says, I can't put timings of rate cuts on the calendar.
They're all geniuses, these guys. All right, ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da. Come on, the waiting, the waiting. We're almost
Bank of
there.
Canada's Rogers says there does seem to be some exuberance in equities.
Perfect. Perfecto mundo. That's all the Spanish I know. Yes, yes, yes. When a plan just works. Slow and steady. Slow. We're doing all the right things. It's the patience that will wear thin.
Fed's Powell says immigration and labour force participation both contributed to strong economic growth we had last year.
Well, that's a kicker. We know we're onto something good. We have to watch what comes of this next box up here and how we behave up here, right? We already have plan A. Plan A is to sell up there, right? But if the
Bank
market,
of Canada's Malcolm says we're not going to be lowering rates at the pace we've raised them.
yeah. And so if we keep going beyond the box, that's where the behavior comes in, right? That's where we start building box 2, box 3, box 4, looking for an ultimate outcome, right? So we don't throw in the towel at the first sign of trouble. It's quite the opposite. You know, you suit up and get ready for battle. All right? Remember, all you have is your spear, your shield, and that little piece of cloth. And you have to, fight like a Spartan. And we trade naked here. There's nothing else telling you what to do, right? It's just you. Awesome day today. Whoop, whoop. Can't wait for a little bit more and then call it a day. Million ways to skin a cat. Right? You don't have to trade like me. Just take bits and pieces of what I do here and incorporate it into what you're doing. These are just measured moves. And all I'm doing is figuring out a way to measure what's happened so that I have a clue as to what the market is capable of doing if it moves forward. Right? It's an average upon average upon average upon average.
Bank of Canada news conference has ended.
Yay. Deep breath, everybody, and now we resume. The CAD plays a very little part in the dollar index, so there's always a risk, but it's slim that it will crash what we have going on here. That it would have crashed what we had going on here. Gold is breaking up. Boy, oh boy. few more minutes, about 15 more minutes or so. Hopefully we'll have a bit of an answer as to which way we're gonna go into the close. All right, time will tell. All right. More news on the calendar this week, so there will be other opportunities, you know, to fix this if you're upside down, and or continue to make money if you're on the right side of things. Right? It's a mean reverting experiment, so just don't hold on to your mistakes. Learn to fix them. Come on, come on. $13. We'll get set up for the banker's close. All right. So the goal remains the same. Nothing's changed. All right. We're just losing participants as the time progresses. And so we're looking to be sellers somewhere around 9:15. And then ideally we'll have that rotation we're looking for. All right, so, all right, when we come tomorrow, we'll see where we are. All right. Slow and steady. Once we get to that red line, the swing trade will be flattened. All the other trades will have been closed. And I'll start selling. Selling expensive green candles. We're almost there. All right. Come on, I just want to close everything here before I start selling so I can take the picture for the video and then be ready to upload the recording. Yesterday's recording was uploaded this morning, so it should be ready for you guys on YouTube by now. I'm hoping to have today's recording up before lunchtime. There we are. That's what we were looking for. Right. Today was a little under average. Right? We didn't have as many clicks as I normally would have. Less volatility, but I think it was all because of the anxiety. A lot of it had to do with the market waiting for Powell and, you know, waiting for the events. We're walking on eggshells every day. We're really good at it by now. All right, one last push higher, and we call it a day.
Oil futures extend gains, Brent crude up by $2 a barrel.
You can hear the ticks coming through. The green ticks have a different sound than the red ones. And so you can tell if the engine is speeding up or slowing down. Survival of the fittest. Come on, come on, come on, come on. It's hard not to be cheerful when you're winning. You know, it's hard to just sit there and not really care, especially when you've been trying to do this for so long and it's finally working. You're welcome, Edward. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for being here, my friend. We have so little to go. Like it's nine pips, 10 pips, 1 box away. We are literally 1 box away. Just get me there. In the next 5 minutes, banks in Europe will start the process of closing the bank, right? They have to start balancing books and locking up the vault and all that good stuff. With that, traders are also closing trades, booking profits, so to speak. Can you spare some change and put a trade right there? All right, time of day. There's a specific
Moody's
circadian.
says UK budget plans will perpetuate the UK's fiscal challenges.
There is a circadian nature behind all of this, right? People do want to go home eventually, and so the bankers in Europe right now are looking at dinner hour, and they're looking to go to the pub, and so ideally they'll be closing their banks in the next 30 minutes or so. And with that, we see opportunity. We exploit the timing.
Moody's says the UK plans for spending cuts are unlikely to materialise given long-term spending commitments.
Right. One box sideways. Right? We've maintained one standard deviation for I don't know how many minutes. It's been 35 minutes. Right. Remember the
And
goal.
Moody's says the UK government's commitment to meeting fiscal rules underpins stable outlook on UK's AA3 rating.
The goal remains the same, right? You want to become sellers with a new high, right? And
As Powell says, if the economy evolves as we hope, interest rates will need to come down significantly over the coming years.
we just want to sell because we expect resistance, right? We're not selling because it's coming back to the South Pole. You're just selling because you see an opportunity. Okay, so that will be our plan for today. All right, I'll let you guys be and enjoy your day. All right, trade small. Remember, you're postponing gratification. All right, so you're going to be selling at the top, wanting to get paid from a move back lower. Okay, enjoy. Talk to you soon. Same time tomorrow. Bye-bye.